What's going on, guys? You are on the sidelines with the sideline guys. I am Chris.
I'm Derrick.
Welcome back, everybody.
Oh
As
yeah,
always,
yeah,
another eventful week in the world of sports. We got a
yes,
whole bunch of things to talk about, and
yes.
some things I'm more excited than others. We'll
Oh
say
yeah,
that.
yeah.
It's a big week, but it's only right that we start river dancing on a couple folks' graves. We'll jump right into it, baby. The Lakers, the good old purple and piss. I
Yeah.
just want to get your reaction, and I want to ask you some questions now that it's officially confirmed that the Lakers are out of the play-in tournament.
Yeah.
Uh, I just want to get your initial thoughts, man. How are you feeling about this right now?
I wasn't shocked. I think I said like in November or December they weren't going to make it into the playoffs. Like if they
And I
made it
gave
to
you
the play,
pushback. I'm like,
it
I don't
just
know.
it didn't make sense. Their roster was horrible. This is horrible. And of course I know everybody's already heard the whole spiel about who they could have had and all that stuff, but really think about that, right? Like you could have had DeRozan and Buddy Hield and I don't know what the plan is because they gave up a lot in that trade for Anthony Davis. So you can't really put too much hope in draft picks right now. Probably hoping to get some pretty soon. But I mean, who do you who do you trade for? Or who do you trade to get? Honestly.
Austin Reeves, baby. That 3 and D. Yeah, they're in a tough spot, man.
I mean, yeah, because like think about it. You could have still been working with Ingram, Wall, um, Caruso. If they
Kuzma's
had
another guy they let go.
Kuzma, yeah, and as much crap as I gave that dude last season, this had nothing to do with him.
Yep.
this had
Crazy.
this had nothing to do with him. So yeah, I mean that I hope the championship was worth it because to be completely honest, they and we've discussed this before, but they better be thanking God that the pandemic hit because there's no way they would have actually won a championship that year without the pandemic. So that's the only reason why that trade for Anthony Davis made any sense because they actually got a ring out of it. Outside of that, I don't know what you actually say. I don't know what you would actually uh, 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 do in that situation, giving everybody up and not getting anything for it. You know, not getting a championship or anything like that. So yeah, yeah, kind of. It's very interesting, and think about the coaching possibilities too. This
They're
is
already talking about who's the
hilarious.
next coach is gonna be. You're like, come
Yeah,
on, bro. You let go of the
yeah,
coach. It's the
yeah.
coach's fault. It's
And
GM
really,
LeBron's fault.
yeah. This is not on Frank Vogel. I mean, is there some aspect where the responsibility lands on him? Sure, everybody bears responsibility from the head down. But come on, come on. We're not gonna make him the scapegoat. They've been trying to make Westbrook the scapegoat all year. You know, now they trying to put
Even
it on
clutch
Vogel.
sports. Yep.
Yeah, so I that's the thing about it, man. Like just accept it. You followed LeBron's plans for this team and it did not work out.
Dude, you know what this all reminds me of? It's just one simple word. It's entitlement, bro. It's
Yes.
entitlement.
Yes.
You gave this guy the keys, and now, yeah, you got a ring. So ultimately,
Yes.
everyone will say, the ends justify the means, whatever.
Yeah.
But you really blew up whatever core you had looking at the future of this team. Like I said, the youngest up and coming player is Austin Reeves.
Yeah.
And I don't know how long he's going to be able to stay in the league, respectfully. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just feel like something that Logic brought up to me. Shout out my boy Logic, man. But something
Yes,
he
sir.
brought up to me that I thought was really interesting that I wanted to ask you on the show too is like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, of course, he got his ring. So a lot of people will say it's no big deal. But do you feel like this whole Lakers run did more damage to his career than it did on the accolades side of things? Because I
To
personally feel
LeBron's.
like, yep, to LeBron.
Okay.
Because I personally feel like, hands down, although you got the ring and that was a high point, this season is a really big low point.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that now a stat that I saw flowing out there too, that he's now missed out on the playoffs more times than Jordan has in his whole career. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously he's been in the league longer already, so
Mm-hmm.
that's a tough comparison. But um, I just really feel like this is a rough one, a real hard pill to swallow. And the
Yeah.
fact that even before the All Star break, he's already tampering. He's already talking about where
Yes.
wants to go or where he could go.
Yeah.
It's just entitlement to the fullest degree. And I agree with a lot of what you said, man. Whoever he ends up with, you're gonna want that guy because he's an all-time great. I get it, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you want what comes with it because every place that he left, besides Cleveland at this point, has
Mm-hmm.
has seen some holes for sure.
Oh no, Cleveland saw some holes too. Cleveland Cleveland did a great job of being able to bounce back. Like I don't think we saw them actually getting to this point so fast post LeBron. Well, the second post LeBron. I don't think we saw this from them, but I don't know that. Okay, put it like this: if you're asking how if this puts a major hit on his career or his story, whatever you want to, his narrative or whatever, however you want to put it, I don't know that it does because I think it depends on how you look at things, right? So being in LA, um, you know, he's hit how many milestones in his career just in the last 4 years being out there. Um, I don't know. This is probably the only team that he's been on that when you're looking at the greats of that franchise, you're not even thinking about him until like the tail end, right? Like Miami's franchise, you have to think about LeBron. Cleveland's franchise, you have to think about LeBron. I think LeBron is like an afterthought in LA. And I don't know that this puts too much of a that much of a hit on him in a narrative sense. But I think when you look at what he's been doing uh, 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 this season, like I know he's been trying to will the team and to wins and stuff like that, but there was a point where it just came to where like I can't do it, I can't do it, and it's year 19, um, he's in his
It's historic
30s.
in its own right. Let's just be
Yes,
clear
it,
about that.
it is a historic a feat. I think that I read something earlier today that Michael Jordan at 40, I think it was his last season with the Wizards, had more wins than the Lakers this year.
Hmm.
And different eras, right? Different rosters, but when you're comparing goats, I I said this long ago. LeBron is not even beyond Kobe to me. So I don't see how you can even say he surpassed Michael Jordan in any way, shape, or form. I mean, they're two different positions, right? As well. So it's like different responsibility, but I can't put him past Kobe. So I'm not putting him past Duncan. I'm not putting him past Duncan. I mean, when we're talking about goats, like to be like an ultimate, like the goat, LeBron has never been in that conversation for me. He's never been in that conversation with me. When you look back at his path to the finals or you know the opposition that he's had, it's not been that serious, right? Outside of when the big three was in Boston, you had like I think in the East he had Boston, he had Chicago, he had Indiana, but those are never at like the same time. Indiana and Chicago, were somewhat close together and all that, but I'm not LeBron ain't up there to me. All right. He ain't up there to me. He is a goat. He is the goat of this generation of players for sure. He's done a lot for the game, but I mean, LeBron is not what I think everybody needs to temper expectations because to me, LeBron, like especially since he's been in LA, LeBron is not the guy you're like used to seeing. And I know a lot of people are gonna,
Really?
yeah, not in terms of like willing his team to the championship. He's not that guy that was in the East. And I mean, you could say that's a conference thing too, so that's possible. That was part of my argument as well. So okay.
We need to get an episode of fans on this because
Yeah,
honestly, I just gotta say it. Like, I hate to be the dude to advocate for this man because I don't like him. Like, I'm gonna
yeah,
make that very clear because
yeah,
I agree with you. I don't put him in that top three category,
yeah,
but
yeah,
I
yeah.
do agree that he is a goat, regardless
Yes,
of
he is a goat.
era, regardless of
Yes.
anything. I think when it's all said and done, he's gonna be the points leader. That says a lot.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
there's a
yeah.
reason why sort of the current points leader isn't in that conversation as well. It's a lot more
Mm-hmm.
than just that. And he's always, in my opinion, been in the roughest spot um, because, like you said, he doesn't have his own leg to stand on. He
Mm-hmm.
propped himself up with a lot of different stools. So it was three-legged monsters that put him in those positions to win those chips.
Uh-huh.
I think without those scenarios or those situations, I mean, you saw it with his first run in Cleveland. Like, there was never a team that was built with LeBron that got a ring. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he had to be a part of an acquisition. He had to be, and it wasn't just him. It was never just him. It was
Mm-hmm.
other people as well with Kyrie, Kevin Love.
Mm-hmm.
It became a bigger thing because of the pieces around him, and they
Mm-hmm.
try to do the same thing here too. I don't agree with you what you said though, as far as willing people to win, because yeah, it's a bubble season,
Mm-hmm.
but I still count that as legit. I don't care. Like, I feel like
Oh, it's
a lot
legit.
of people,
It's legit, but it wouldn't have happened if the pandemic didn't hit.
we can't say that though.
It would
Like,
not have
they
happened.
they were a low seed for sure, but we can't say that.
It would not have happened. Think back to how everything started at that part of the season. Like right as the season was about to close, Anthony Davis was hurt. If I'm not
I'm saying, do
mistaken.
you think they wouldn't have made the playoffs in a regular
Oh
season?
no, they would have made the playoffs. Yeah. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they wouldn't have made the finals.
And
They
that's such
wouldn't.
a, I feel you. It's
They
such a
wouldn't.
hard thing to gauge, but
I don't see how they would have because there were a lot of I think even Rondo was hurt, who was really big for them that year. Um, so the postponement of the season helped them to get healthy. So by the time you're talking about late summer, here we go.
I was gonna
We're,
say that would
we're
have
good.
happened come late
Rested.
summer anyway, though,
No, but they
right?
were. It was a difference because they had rest.
I get it. I get it.
So you know what I'm saying? Like building up. I think the season ended. I mean, postponed like what March,
Yeah, it was late March.
late March. So if they're already out April, May, June, you know, like leading up to that, if those guys are already hurt, I don't see it. I don't see it. And it's fine. It's fine. Everyone, people, a lot of people can disagree with me. I am perfectly fine with being being in the minority, and that I'm used to being a minority, so I'm fine. But I think that that he's LeBron is still like one of the greats. Like I don't want anyone to think I'm like kicking him while he's down and stuff. But this iteration of LeBron is not what we are used to. He's
And
not.
I think that's to be expected though at this point in
And
his career. I feel
that's
like, but when you look at
exactly.
his
And
numbers
that's
though, when you
fine.
look at his numbers,
Yeah, yeah.
it's not that big of a difference.
No, 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 it's not. But I'm saying in terms of being able to
Hit
he's
that
what
extra gear come
yeah,
playoff time. I
yeah.
get it.
He's
But I
not
think that's a
there right
team
now.
thing as well.
It
Like, I
is.
honestly feel like
It
we could
is.
see him win another title somewhere else. I honestly think that could happen.
Where
It's
do you
going to
see
take
him
a lot
going?
of things. It's
Where can
going
you
to
see
take
him
a
going?
lot of things to happen. Hear me out on this one. You ready?
Yeah.
Hear me out on this one, because this is going to be this is not gonna happen. But every time I think about it, it
Uh-huh.
makes sense. You ready? It makes sense.
Mm.
There's a guy on a certain team that seems like he's on his way out. They don't play the same position.
Mm-hmm.
But if somehow LeBron became a Mormon and moved over there to Utah and put himself in a situation where now this isn't this isn't an individual player team. This is a system team.
Yeah.
And I think Quinn Snyder is one of the best coaches in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is like the dream scenario for him because, and it'll never happen because of his ego.
Yeah,
But I feel
yeah.
like if he put himself in that position, embrace the role that he would have there, because it'll
Where
be
he's not
different
the
than
guy.
any other role. No, he's still the guy. Who else
Okay.
would be the guy?
Okay. Are you saying with Mitchell still there?
No, I'm saying Mitchell's got to go for
Mitchell's
that
gone.
spot.
Okay. I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
you. I got
Mitchell
you.
has to go. The other pieces though need to stay in order for
Okay.
that to be anywhere realistic.
Okay.
But that level of defense, he needs to put himself somewhere like that,
Mm-hmm.
where it's not just offensive pieces. You
Mm-hmm.
have the defense so that you can be more of a standout player on that end. When it's just
Yeah.
LeBron that
Yes.
is the anchor of your defense, you have
Yes.
problems. Like you have
Yes.
serious problems,
Yes.
and we've seen that in other seasons of his as well,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the early Cavs days.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think if he puts himself in the right scenario, there's a lot of other teams that fit that mold too. I think
Mm.
a young Indiana team could benefit from having
That'd be
LeBron
interesting.
go over there too.
That'd be
So
interesting.
there's a couple different spots that I could see where things will work out, but will the ego allow it? I don't think so. Like
Mm-mm.
I feel like if he's going anywhere, he's going to the Mavs, he's going to the Knicks or something like that. And how is that
Okay.
going to work for you?
Hold on. The Knicks
Yo,
for
bro.
what? The Knicks for
Yo,
what?
bro.
Come on,
Yo,
man.
bro,
Come on.
you know what it's for. You know what it's for. All eyes are on me. That's the only thing it's for. It's not
It's not for winning then. Is that what you're
for
saying?
sure. For sure.
Okay.
That's what
Okay.
I mean.
Okay.
I'm saying
Okay.
the places he would pick is going to be about market. It's going to be about
Okay. That's
what
different.
could be the biggest
Okay.
splash
Okay.
versus the fits that we're talking about that could potentially land him a ring, in my
Okay.
opinion.
Okay.
So that's what I meant by that.
Okay.
I'm not
All right.
saying the
All
Knicks
right.
are
All
a
right.
ring
All right.
destination.
All right.
Far from it. Um, that's another team that had a historically disappointing season. But guess what? That's regular shit for these Knickerbockers.
I expected that. Like they were trying to dance on
I
our
did not expect that.
they were trying to dance on our heads when they got Kimber Walker and Evan Fournier. Before that, I'm thinking, okay, this is gonna be a good season for them. But when you go out and you trade, like you go get those guys, like for what? Like, you saw what they did in Boston. They were not that.
Those dudes, facts.
So when they did that, I already knew this was not going to be a good season for them. I
And
didn't
that ain't
expect that
man bun
regression.
Fournier.
No, yeah,
That's shining Fournier like me. You feel me? He is shining over there in New York.
yeah. I didn't expect that level of regression to what we've seen, but I didn't expect them to have a good season. I'll
Yeah,
put it
I
like
didn't
that.
expect them to be top. I didn't expect them to be top six, but I expected
Yeah,
them to make the playoffs.
I thought
And the fact that they
playoffs
didn't,
play in. Yeah,
the fact
yeah,
that they didn't is sad. And I
yeah.
think the biggest regression has to be you got to point all fingers to Julius Randle. I feel like RJ
Mm-hmm,
Barrett took a step
mm-hmm.
up this season.
Yeah, he
You
did.
watch his play,
He
like
did.
that guy's good.
He
Like
did.
they got something on their hands with RJ. But you know what that means. He's probably gonna get traded next season. So it's
I
a
mean,
sad time always in New York. But let's get back
yeah.
to LeBron before we move on.
One team I want to see LeBron stay away from, aside from my team, because that'll never happen. I want to see him stay away from Cleveland.
Yeah, me too.
Like Cleveland has been doing such a phenomenal job. Again, we did not expect to see this from them, right? Keep building with these players. These are your building blocks. That's like this is the first time they've had an actual like winning season without LeBron since '97. So I don't care about what LeBron would look at with that team and be like, I don't care. I don't care. Because I mean, you're ultimately going to end up having to ship away one of those guys, one or two. And I don't see that being a good look for them at all.
I
At
respect
all.
that. I got another one for you. You
What's up?
ready?
Yeah.
This is another good spot, and it has to do with one man. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
His name is David Griffin. Imagine LeBron going down to New
My God.
Orleans to play in the Bayou with all those pieces that got shuffled around when he left. I
That
actually
would
think
be
that
the
won't be
worst.
that bad. I don't
That
know.
would no, it would be the worst in terms of like LA, like what they did.
Gutted him to
You
see
could
them all go over there.
to
Yeah.
go over there now every single that would be the worst. It would be hilarious to me, but that would be the absolute worst for them.
So if
And
we had to set the line, if we're
yeah,
Vegas right now,
yeah.
who is the favorite? Is he been a free agent this season? I don't think he is.
I don't even know. I want to say he probably is because he does those like two
Short
year
contracts, yeah.
contracts. I'm not sure off the top of my head.
So if we had to make a favorite for the next team that LeBron is going on, whenever he's a free agent, I think the saddest shit is the Cleveland Cavaliers are the favorite out of any other team, even though it's not what we want. I think that you got to set
I
the
think
line
so.
on that.
I think so too. I think so too. Because you think about it, like they have a lot of cap room and they have a lot of space to move. And I'd hate to see it, but
Make
honestly,
dollars, it makes sense. That's how
yeah,
this leagues works.
yeah. But ultimately, I think whatever team gets Bronny is going to get LeBron. That's pretty
Mhm.
much it for me. I don't see how. I don't know because I don't see the Cavs being like a top uh, 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 lottery pick in that
At that
draft.
point, that's
Yeah,
very true.
I don't see that. So I don't
Do
even
you
know
really
that he
think he's
could
gonna
either.
go like to a terrible team like that though? Like
Sacramento or
that's
something.
nothing
Yeah.
to. I can't imagine that.
Yeah. I don't see Bronny going to a contender. I
I
don't see
think
that.
so. I think he's in that latter 14, but we already had that discussion.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we'll see that his stock rises only because of LeBron, and like
True,
it
and that makes
has nothing
sense.
to do with him. It's he plays a different position. He's a different type of player, but
So
I don't
Cleveland will
see
be
it.
your favorite too.
I don't mainly because I think LeBron could push himself there if ultimate like say for example like if Bronny got drafted to a team that was just god awful like the Kings, I do not know that he's like LeBron is like I don't know. I think it mainly depends on what happens this next season. I want to say yes that is likely, but I still don't know. I don't know because there's a lot of things to consider with that. You have to figure out like uh what's he signing for? Like this year 41 he had 41 mil. Next year he'll be at 44 and he'll be an unrestricted free agent in 23, right? So what are you paying for LeBron? What
A hefty penny.
at 30? Wait, so he'll be 40. He'll be turning 40 that free agent
That's
year.
yep.
What are you paying for LeBron? Like is LeBron
Price is
still
going up.
commanding?
It's not going down. That price is going up,
You think he gets more than 40 mil?
bro. That price is not going down, bro. There's no way.
Well look, okay, so one reason I think it's possible it could be lower is because he's already said it's not about money, right? Focus is playing with Bronny. So I think it's very possible he could command less, maybe around 20. Still think that's a lot for a year 40 player
Hell yeah.
at at year 21, right?
It's crazy.
That's a lot, man.
That's
That's
a
a
lot for
lot.
anyone. That's
That's
the shit. That's a lot
yeah.
for anyone.
Yeah, but I mean at 40,
But he is that dude though. Like
at
that's the
40 though,
problem,
is he still that guy?
bro.
at 40,
I think
21
I think he's
years.
still that guy on a level that doesn't make sense this season. I know
For
that
sure,
the
for sure,
results don't
for
say
sure,
it,
for
but
sure.
for the mileage he has on his career,
Mm-hmm.
the way I really feel like he hasn't tipped off the way a lot of guys at this point of their career do.
Yes,
He
yes.
still has it. We still haven't felt that. Like I feel like on any
Yeah,
given night he could look like the MVP out there.
I
And
agree. But he's not the number one option. I think that was my point in the beginning. He's not the number one option anymore.
yeah, for sure.
And I think that was his whole point of going to LA with AD, was to start transitioning from being the go-to guy to the support. And he wasn't able to fully do that. And it's not even his fault. AD's fault, honestly. And really, it's not really. I mean, it's he can't help some of those injuries. But at the end of the day, AD wasn't there. So I don't know
Daddy
how you.
wasn't there. It is crazy, bro.
I mean, yeah, but like he could not give up that number one spot, and so I don't even fault LeBron for that. But I think the focus and the attention that people give him in terms of being the number one guy that can care, that's like an automatic right in for the finals. He's not the guy you're building around right now. He's the guy you're building with. Like, to me, LeBron has moved from one to two, and that's a long time, right? That's a long time in your career before you actually move to being the supporting, uh, two or three, depending on who's on your roster. Um, so he's still someone that can impact the game. I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying he's not the number one option.
Mm-hmm.
Not
And
not
the
not
funny
long
thing
term.
is,
Not long term.
I don't think it's by choice. Like I don't think it's like I'm not the number one option because I need help. Like I
Mm-hmm.
think if it came down to it, he could be that guy
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
score over 30 and
yeah,
have all the numbers. Like I think he could. It's just a matter of durability and sort of his goals and the reasons why he doesn't want to do that. And that's all understood. And we're gonna move on shortly because someone that
yeah.
isn't in the playoffs shouldn't be getting this much time. But I feel you, man. I just feel like long term, it's hard to dial back the clock money wise in the league we're in today. Like that
Mm-hmm.
cap is only going up,
It is.
A,
It is.
and B, I just feel like, especially with the way that he moves and his agency moves, like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
there's no way that even if it's back end sponsorship shit, like they're gonna find a way to make that money add up in a way
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah,
it should, which is
yeah.
the right thing to do. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, it's a tough spot to be in, and I think he will find his way somewhere, but I don't think LA is bouncing back anytime soon.
They're not.
Like
They're not.
anytime
They're
soon.
not. It's going to take a long time for them to be able to get back into the contender picture, because they're not going to be. I'm sorry, into contention, but they're not going to be someone that you're looking at that's one of those teams that are the top teams in the West. Like,
I got a question for you.
mhm.
Does AD leave this season?
I don't think that's up to him this year.
I think
I
it
don't.
is.
Is it? Because I know he was talking about some. There were rumors of them trading him. Let me look.
I think it is. I think he has the
Five
option.
year. Let's see. No, he's an unrestricted free agent in 25. So
What did I
uh
just look at? Did I?
22, he's getting 35 this year, 37 next year, 40 in 2023-24, and 43 in 24-25. I don't think he's going anywhere.
I don't think he's worth that contract either. You're right. I read an article real quick. Just want to explain myself here.
Yeah,
It
yeah, yeah.
literally said if AD did this, then he would have been a free agent in 2022.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
that's all I saw. I was like, free agent in 2022. But yeah,
Yeah,
he's not going anywhere
he
then.
ain't going anywhere. I mean, and
Yeah.
honestly, what team would trade for him, right?
Mhm.
I know there was talks of Chicago
I think
being a
Dallas would
place
try
he
to
would.
make that work too.
I don't see. Okay, maybe it's just me. I don't see what the reason would be for. I don't see it. I honestly don't. And let me publicly thank Anthony Davis's dad. I want to thank that man because this man tried to insult the Celtics and say, "Oh yeah, my son doesn't want to go there. Look how they treated Isaiah Thomas. We want loyalty and stuff like that." And he saved us from having to be in this position. So I appreciate you. I appreciate
Y'all
you.
wouldn't have been in this position if y'all had AD. Trust.
Oh, bro, they would have traded Jalen Brown or someone. It would take one of those guys, like Brown or Smart, to get AD. Yeah, we're
Y'all
not
wouldn't have
look.
been. Y'all wouldn't have. Y'all would have still been making the playoffs regardless.
We will probably be closer to the play in.
I don't know about
Look at
that,
that
bro.
hit. Look at that.
I
Look at
don't know
that. Look
about
at that.
that, bro.
Bro. Look at that hit. Okay, look at that hit.
I
You're
don't know about
paying
that.
Jason Tatum, right? If you keep I think you try to keep one of them in between Brown and Smart, right? And you add AD, you're top heavy. You have like and they've already extended Robert Williams, right? That extension would not have taken place if they had gotten AD. So yeah, I don't see us being one of the top teams in the league, let
Nobody
alone
saw y'all
East.
being the top team in the league,
No, I
bro.
did. I'm saying I don't I that would not have happened with AD.
I
That's
feel
all I'm
like
saying.
I feel like the projection would have been higher with AD than it was this
The
season. And of
projection,
course,
but
yeah, that's what we're talking about.
the reality is not the same.
Hey, that's a reality that we weren't too sure we would have fell into. But I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to rile you up about your Celtics because I know how bad that goes. Trust me. So let's get into these play-in scenarios. I think it's important because,
Yeah.
from what I understand, both conferences are locked up as far as who's playing. There's still
Yeah,
some
yeah,
room for the seedings to sort of change up a little bit
yeah.
in that play-in, which is important. I think that really determines matchup wise um, whether or not you're going to have a tough road. The one team that I look at. So let me just read off the East current standings right now. So we got Miami at 1. Looks like they have that locked up because they're 3 games up and I
Yeah.
think there's 3 games left. So you and Milwaukee, I said you and Milwaukee, Boston, Milwaukee, Philly all have the same record, but
Yeah.
for whatever reason, you're listed. Boston's listed as second, probably tiebreakers and stuff like that.
Tiebreakers, yeah.
Toronto is fifth with their 46 and 33. So it looks like the top four is set. It just depends on what order it's going to end up being in.
Mm-hmm.
And then honestly, Toronto and Chicago can flip. I don't think they will just because Toronto's been really putting it together towards the end of the season as well.
Yeah.
And then it leaves Cleveland at 7, which honestly is a little surprising that we got a seventh team with 43 wins when you
Yeah.
consider how it looks in the West.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you got Brooklyn and Atlanta with the same exact record at 8 and 9,
Mm-hmm.
and then Charlotte at 10. So it's a tight race out there in the
Yes.
East,
Yes.
and I'm hyped to see how this plays out. But we're gonna do it again. We do it every week at this point.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Yeah.
Let's look at these play-in games, right?
Yeah.
So it'll be how does it work? It's 7 and 10, right? And
Seven
then
and
eight and
ten.
nine.
Yeah.
So it'll be Cleveland versus Charlotte, and then Brooklyn versus Atlanta. I just got to say that second matchup is heat, bro. You saw that game that they played again, yo.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun to
Yeah.
watch them two go at it. I would say you probably gotta favor Brooklyn, even though Atlanta won that head to head. Obviously, I think Cleveland gets
Explain
that.
why. Explain why though.
All right, let me explain to you why. It's two guys, Drummond
Mm-hmm.
and Bruce Bowen Jr. That's why. When you got role players, that in my opinion those are the highlights, those top
Yes.
five.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then obviously you got people like Seth Curry and things like that. I
Yes.
just feel like in that matchup, obviously we saw KD go off for 50 and they still couldn't get it out.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, when I watched the way that team showed up against the Raptors,
Yeah.
um, I don't know, man. I just feel like Atlanta, despite all that talk early on, it matters when it's playoff time. I don't know if they have that gear the way that
Mm-hmm.
I know that the Nets historically have had.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
At the same time, though, Nets also are kind of in a weird position because they're beating the teams they should beat,
Mm-hmm.
but then they're having hard times against the teams that are right there next to them.
Yeah.
So honestly, it is a coin flip, but you got to favor the Nets, in my opinion. That's where I come from with it.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. But I would not be surprised if Atlanta wins that.
Me
I
neither.
would
Yep.
not be surprised.
It's one game.
It's one
That's
game,
that's why it's so exciting.
and also just not even that. Brooklyn's defense is not all that, and we've already understood Ben Simmons is not playing in the playing game.
Yep.
So I think it's possible. I think it's possible. Trey Young is going like they're going to Brooklyn, right? For that game.
Yep. Yep.
Trey Young gets up for New York, man.
He does.
Then it's
That
like
is
it's
true.
the brighter the light, that dude just goes. And I would not be shocked. I'll put it like that. I think you have to favor Brooklyn in that matchup, though. I think you
Yeah.
have to favor them, but it would not be shocking if they lose that game
I think the
at all.
biggest X factor too is John Collins' injury stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
the biggest X factor with that matchup.
yeah.
But it's gonna be hype no matter what
Oh,
happens.
for
I'm more
sure,
excited about
for
that
sure.
second game. So let me make sure I got this right.
Mhm.
So whoever wins that first 7-10 game, right, automatically is in the playoffs. Is that how it works? And then
I
the
think they get the
loser of
seventh
that
seed.
game plays the winner of the other game. That's how it works,
Yeah,
right?
I think so. I think so. Because I think the
Um,
winner of the 7-10 matchup, they get the seventh seed.
yep.
They go against the two, and then yeah, the loser goes against the winner of the
Yeah.
other one. Yeah, yeah.
Which is complicated, but
It is,
we'll
man.
make it
It
work
is.
for this one.
It is. Yeah.
So yeah, Charlotte and Cleveland. I think that one's a little bit easier to sort of pick your side on. I think you can make a case for Charlotte too.
You can.
I think
You
they've been
can.
pulling it together, especially later in the season.
Hmm.
I don't know if you've seen that clip. I just fucking love it. I'm just gonna say it. Not a lot of people agree with me. A lot of people hate this family. I fuck with Lamelo, bro. He's a
Oh,
clown. He
heavy.
is hilarious. Did you see that video? I forgot. Somebody caught a big dunk, and then he's running down the sideline, high stepping.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it was
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
Lamelo, goofy as hell, bro. And I was like, yo, for real. I
Yeah,
just feel like he brought something like a swag to that organization that they really needed.
yeah.
I feel like for a long time they've always sort of been in MJ's shadow. And I feel like now
Hmm.
they have that go-to guy, even if he's not at that level yet, just yet. They
Hmm.
have that face of the franchise that they can sort of lean on. We'll see how it works out in the playoffs, but I think no matter what, this is going to be exciting little matchups here.
It's gonna be, yeah, it is. It is. I will say I saw something today, I think from Mark Stein, that said that Charlotte is rumored to be interested in getting Westbrook. And don't I no,
Don't do it.
don't do that,
Please
please.
don't do it. They got
Please
enough
don't do
jumpers
that,
on that
man.
team already. Like
Bro,
you
I
need
mean,
some
like,
shooters.
think about that. It's if you're keeping Rozier, and you keep him mellow, and you've got Westbrook.
Gordon Hayward.
Yeah, where like Isaiah
Where is he
Thomas
gonna
is
fit? Yeah.
Isaiah Thomas is already off. Like he'll be out of the picture at that point for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
Hope he ends up somewhere though.
yeah, I do too. I do too. But I don't know, like, where does the ball go? It's almost like the same thing with LA. I don't get it. I don't
How
get
about
it.
this? Instead of trying to force fixes, real quick, before we move on to the West side of things, where would Westbrook fit? Because that's a harder question to ask than where he doesn't fit.
I don't know. That's the problem. I honestly don't know.
Yep.
Like it would almost like make sense to just go back to OKC, finish your career out. Um, but at the same time, you don't want to mess those guys up. I don't
You know what
know.
I'm gonna say.
You're gonna
You
say
know what I'm gonna
no,
say.
but
Bring him to the Knicks. Bring him to the Knicks. They need a ball handler. Bring
Jesus,
him to the
bro.
Knicks.
At this point, why not? But you know, I think the bigger move for the Knicks would be is to try and go get Zion Williamson. Uh, I don't know what that would
Yeah, the Knicks are
entail.
so mid, bro. If that's a big move, like
That's I
the
don't see
Knicks are
I
so
don't see,
mid.
bro. I don't. They've been mid, but I don't see what other move you're gonna make.
Mhm.
There's nothing that's enticing about the Knicks, and I know there's been rumors about Donovan Mitchell and stuff like that. I'm gonna be completely honest. If Donovan Mitchell is upset in Utah, is he supposed to be happy in New York?
Hell
Make
no.
that make sense to me.
For
I
real.
don't. If it's based off of wanting to win, that's not it. If it's marketing, Spider-Man in New York makes sense. That's it.
Yep. 100%. You know what's funny though, as I'm looking at these East and West play-ins,
Mm.
if if it was just regular seeding, the Wizards and the Knicks would have a chance at the last seeds in the Western Conference
The
play-in,
West, isn't
which
that
is
crazy?
crazy. And you think they're so garbage, so it's like, damn, the bottom of the West really fell out underneath us
Oh,
real quick.
they fell out real fast.
So let me read off the West standings just so we have it all played out. We got the obviously the Suns at number one, and then we
Mhm.
got, sorry, I'm scrolling through this like a damn noob, like a damn noob. We got the Suns, the Memphis Grizzlies,
Mhm.
Golden State Warriors at 3, Dallas 1 game behind at 4, Utah at 5, and Denver at 6. They both have the same record,
Mhm.
and then Minnesota at 7. They're 2 games behind Denver and Utah. I think that probably ends up staying where it's at right now.
Yeah.
Clippers at 39 and 40. So that's where the big dip is. And then New Orleans and San Antonio, basically identical records, 35 and 44. And then San Antonio's 34 and 45.
Mhm.
This one sucks though. Like there's no excitement in
Yeah.
this plane.
This is not exciting.
Like
This is
it's
not
gonna
exciting.
be the Clippers in Minnesota coming out for sure.
Yeah, there's no questions about that. There's literally no questions about that. I think it's pretty much going to end up staying the way it is right now.
Yeah.
There's no other way. I don't see it. I don't see it.
Somewhere Damien's a little tight, but I think he gets it too. I think he gets it too. And this year's not the year. And I think he accepted that a long time ago. Um,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I'm excited to see how New Orleans plays out with a healthy team. Hopefully that works out next year because that's not guaranteed.
No.
But I'm excited to see that team healthy because I feel like they got a lot of good things going down there.
Speaking of health, where is Kawhi?
He's not playing, dude. I think it's over. I think PG is the only hope. I don't think Kawhi's playing.
Okay. So let's talk about him for a second because I'm not sure. I'm about to see what his contract is real quick. But if you're the Clippers, are you looking to move on from Kawhi at some point, or you think this is just they're just married to him and that's it?
I think the better question is, would you? Because I don't think you do. Like, who? What do you do? Like, what's the move?
Never mind.
Yeah, that we tied up, baby. We tied up for a couple years.
They're married to him, bro. He ain't he gets 39 this year, 42 next year,
Just crazy to think
45
about.
the year after that, and 48 the year after that, which I think
Dude, his this
is a
contract is even
player
crazier
option.
than Anthony
This is
Davis's, in my
crazier than
opinion,
AD's. Yeah. Yeah.
which is wild to think about.
Yeah. It's a player option at 24, 25. Um, but you take that, of course. He's not gonna leave 48 million on the table.
I got a
So
question for you.
what's up?
Is Kawhi that dude? Fully healthy, is he that dude? I think that's a real serious question to consider. Because look where Toronto's at right now. Obviously, there's a lot of pieces that aren't there from the championship season. Let me make
Yeah,
that
yeah,
clear.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But at the same time, like with all things considered, when it comes to the injuries, because it hasn't just been this year, it's been
Mm-hmm.
constant.
Yeah, yeah.
All things considered, I think if you have the choice between him and other guys in the league, like Giannis, like I don't know, other people that come to mind at the same time, I don't think he's that dude. Like to justify that level of contract, I really don't.
No, but I think at the same time you gotta remember like where he was when he got that contract. You just come off a championship. You're the reason you got the championship. He got the Finals MVP that year too, right?
Yeah,
Um, I think that was just leveraged, and I don't know. I think it's easier to look back and say that they overpaid, but at that time, it made sense.
It was a steal, even. Yeah.
Yeah, it almost felt like a steal. So I don't know that it's one of those things that you look at and with regret. I think it's just one of those things that just happens because he hasn't been the same since that injury against the Warriors, right?
Mhm.
Like he hasn't been the same, and I don't know.
It's a tough thing to consider
It's
because
tough.
injuries
Yeah,
are involved. Like
yeah,
we haven't seen him back healthy, so we
yeah.
it sort of taints the way we look at it. But
You want?
I
I
just
think
feel like,
it's good to have him as a second option though.
yeah, but he's
But
not. He's the first option right
he's
now.
the first option right now. Yeah, but I think it depends on how things shake out. Let me see where Paul George is sitting because I think that's a very interesting thing to consider. Because I don't know that the Clippers really have to. Oh, they basically gave him the same contract.
Yep.
Jesus,
They paying
39 this
everybody else
year.
pennies over there in
Yeah,
LA.
yeah, yeah. 39 this year, 42 next year, 45 the year after, and 48 the year after that, which is the player
And that's
option.
even crazier. That's even crazier than Kawhi's.
These guys finessed, man. I am I look, round of applause because that doesn't even make sense. That doesn't make
Paul
sense.
George specifically
Paul
doesn't
George
make any
specifically,
sense.
yes.
But both of them don't.
No, no. I think looking back, you say neither look makes sense, but I think back then Kawhi made complete sense.
Yeah, for sure. But either way, so once it comes to the actual regular playoff format, we're in agreement. It's Timberwolves and Clippers, right, that are
Yeah,
remaining here.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, there's no way those other teams are making. They wouldn't have made the playoffs, the
No.
play in the East. So
Mm-mm.
yeah, tough times in the city, baby.
Which is why we need that 16 seed.
Yeah, man, it just makes things so much fun. We
Yeah,
saw it.
yeah,
Timberwolves went
yeah.
far as hell in that
They
bracket,
did.
which
They
is
did.
awesome. Which
They
is
did.
awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm just excited for the playoffs to start, dude. Like I can't wait. That's my favorite time of the season, even more so than the off season. Like playoff, but I think there's few. Like I think ranking NFL,
Mm-hmm.
NBA, MLB. I
Mm-hmm.
personally like the NBA playoffs better than any other playoffs because
Yeah.
I just feel like that having the fact that it's not single elimination, the fact that you have a series, like
Mm-hmm.
there's actually time for narratives to play out. You could
Mm-hmm.
actually see the rise of a team throughout the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's always really exciting. I feel like the NFL ends up feeling sometimes a little fluky just
It
because
does. It does.
the fact that it's single elimination.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, do you agree with me on that? Is that your
Yeah.
favorite playoffs?
I love it. But like even you and I were talking about this, I think yesterday or the day prior, about what the NBA posted on their Instagram page, about home court home court advantage. Like for those that didn't see it, there's now I see I didn't know about this part, but home court advantage allows you to be able to pick out the game ball, and it makes sense. I just never thought about it. I've always seen videos of the guys checking the balls, but I just figure, they're just kind of just testing things out and, working on handles and stuff like that. I didn't know that those are the guys actually choosing the game ball, right? So I think even above just being able to get home court advantage in terms of having playing at home and all that stuff, I think aside from just that part, having home court advantage is very like intriguing because I don't even know, do they do something like that in the NFL?
No.
I've
Yeah, I
never
think the
I've never heard of
officials are
that.
the ones that are in charge of the balls, and if anything, they
Yeah,
change throughout the game. I just want to
yeah.
say real quick, I'm glad that you explained that because even as you were talking, I was about to say because you were like they're testing out the ball. I'm like I was about to say they was feeling the balls,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
just a hey yo moment. So I appreciate that you got that out the way and needed to go out.
I got
But
you. I
I
got
want to ask you because although that's a part of home court advantage, do
you.
you
Mhm.
think that matters? Like, do you think having a say in that matters? Because I don't.
I think it does because we're I think it was this year or last year where they actually decided to change the actual ball, the brand of the ball.
Yep.
Um, so I think it matters if I'm correct and they did it beginning of this year, playoffs are going to be a little more intriguing. to me. Because if you're able to get the one that feels right to you or feels better for you, it makes sense as to why we've seen guys going into like almost like shooting slumps or something like that. Um, I mean, I don't want to make that as an excuse, right? But that somewhat makes sense if
That
you're not
sounds like
able to
some
get.
shit I would say. Like, that ball is trash, bro. I don't know what you mean. My shot is on point. It's the ball.
It's the ball, yeah. But I get it. I get it. If it's not the right grip for you or whatever, where sometimes you could, it goes out of rhythm. I personally, I think anyone that's playing basketball, as much as I criticize Kyrie Irving, to me, he is the guy that you need to look at in terms of ball handling. If you one of his one of the story about him coming growing up came out a couple years ago, um, where they were saying that he was actually testing out, as a kid, the way he was able to develop his handles was by putting a grocery bag over the basketballs, and he would do his drills in the rain, and like he had, that allowed
Ball
him
grip.
to it allowed you to master the yeah. So I think if more guys started doing something like that, if the ball isn't exactly what the way you want it to be, it's not even going to be a problem. You know what I'm saying? I think some guys more so focus on just the shooting form or dunks or whatever, and you're not focused on handling.
Mhm,
It's like that small little detail is something that can be the difference maker between you winning and losing.
for sure. I think
Turnovers
I
and stuff like
agree.
that.
I think it matters way more in handling and dunking than it does
Hmm.
in shooting. And people would
Yes,
assume that
yes,
it's the shooting factor.
yeah,
But I agree. I think it definitely has a lot more to do with handles. And at the end of the day, if your excuse is that the ball was trash, I think you
yeah,
don't really got a leg to stand on.
yeah, yeah. Because at the end of
But
the day, you don't want to hear
it
that.
is a perk you get, I guess.
Yes, yes,
Mhm.
yeah. You don't want to hear something like that from anyone though. And you're
They
getting
need to do a 30 for 30, bro. They need to do like, yo. So there was some rumors that he's trash when it comes to a ball that's a little more sticky. So we gotta
yeah.
we gotta have a sticky ball for this matchup. I wonder if that's a thing. I doubt it, but that'll be interesting for sure.
Hey man, I'm tell you what, if this is if this is something that the NFL ever put in place while Tom Brady was still playing, I think, oh, that'd be hilarious.
Yep.
That
All
would
of
be
them, you'll be able to
hilarious.
palm all of them. No
Yeah,
problem.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody becomes a Hall of Famer at that point.
Hilarious. But do you have
Yeah.
anything else to say about these playoffs before we move on?
Nah, I'm excited, man. Like you said,
Mhm.
I'm just excited. We get to play in games. What next week?
Yep.
So I think it's gonna be intriguing to see who wins. But I think we pretty much know how it's gonna pretty much shake out.
Yeah. I'm just hyped to see it. Who knows? I always root for the chaos when it comes to
Me
things like
too.
March Madness. So
Yeah,
why
yeah.
not? Why not mix it up?
Hey,
New
man.
Orleans, I'm looking at you, baby. Why not
Hey,
mix it up? Who
Atlanta,
knows?
I'm looking at you.
Ooh, that's an even better one.
I'm looking for y'all to pull the upset.
That's an even better one. But I wasn't gonna let us get off this show
Yes, sir.
without talking about the fights that we got this Saturday.
Yes, sir.
You can see the grin on my face. Like, I honestly feel like this is one of the bigger cards in a very long time, and
Yeah,
it
yeah,
isn't
yeah.
just the main card. But I'll spare you guys. We're just gonna go over the main card on this one, and I'm gonna force you to make picks on these.
Awesome.
So the first fight on the main card, due to some cancellations, we got Vince from Hell, Pichel, coming up against Marco Madsen. I'll give you a quick style breakdown. Marco Madsen, I love watching him fight. He's a Olympic silver medalist in freestyle wrestling, which is
Hmm.
very different, um, in my opinion, than Greco-Roman. It's two different things. So I said that completely wrong. He's a silver medalist in Greco-Roman wrestling, not
Okay.
in freestyle wrestling, which is the more traditional shoot takedowns. In Greco-Roman, it's like the upper body clinch,
Hmm.
and sort of breaking guys down from there. I really like watching him fight because he's really a throwback guy. Like, of course, he still does his striking, but he's one of those guys that you look at that's sort of like a specialist, that's more so trying to do one thing versus the overall game. And then he's coming up for someone who's a lifer, dude. This dude has been around since UFC hundreds. Like, that's how long Vince
Yes.
from Hell Pichel has been around. And I really love his game because he could fight anywhere. and he's one of those fighters that as the fight goes on,
Mm-hmm.
he gets even stronger. Like in the third round, he's even more active than he was in the first. And Marco Madsen does have a tendency to fade. We saw that against Clay Guida. So I'm excited for this fight. I think the right guy is the favorite. At the same time, I feel like when it comes to both of these guys' prospects, I think Marco Madsen has a little bit higher of a ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
But at the point of their careers that they're meeting, I think this is a really good matchup for Vince Pichel. So I'm going with Vince Pichel, but my heart is with Marco Madsen for sure.
Ooh, I don't know either one of these guys.
I don't expect you to,
So
respectfully.
I'm not even gonna, act like I do. But I'm gonna go with Pichel.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I'm gonna go
sir.
with
The
Pichel.
powerful mustache. I encourage
Yeah,
you all at home
yeah.
to check it out. He says he gets more recognition for his mustache than he does for being a UFC fighter, which is fucking
He
hilarious.
looks like a firefighter.
Yeah, exactly. Yep,
Yeah,
that's a good shout.
yeah,
But next up, another fight that now we're getting in that range where we know these people. Mackenzie Dern coming
yeah.
up against Tisha Torres. Such an exciting matchup. First of all, I'm really excited to see how this one plays out because I'm a big fan of Jason Perillo,
Mm-hmm,
who Mackenzie Dern is working with to work on her striking.
mm-hmm,
I'm a big fan of what he's done. We've seen the sort of career trajectories of guys like RDA, guys like Michael Bisping.
mm-hmm.
There's a lot of guys that sort of rejuvenated their career through Perillo. So I think there's a lot of room for a big jump in this matchup where
Yeah.
her pressure could be on point, and the fact that she's fighting someone that's much smaller than her stature wise,
Mm-hmm,
I think could sort of lead to her showing those aspects of her game a little bit more.
mm-hmm.
This is a dangerous fight, though, man. I think Tisha
Yeah.
Torres is awesome. Shout out to the Boricuas out there. She's one of the few Puerto Rican fighters in the UFC. Um, Tiny Tornado. She gets that name for a reason. Like she is going
Yeah.
to be way faster than Mackenzie Dern, especially in the striking.
Yeah.
Um, but my only issue with this matchup is I feel like when things get gritty, when things get towards the later half of the fight, I think Tisha Torres tends to sort of find comfort in grappling, find
Mm-hmm,
comfort in going for takedowns later on in rounds and sort of playing the point game in that way. And I
mm-hmm.
think against somebody like Mackenzie Dern, you can't play around with that area. Like you can't at all. We've seen how fast she's able to wrap up those submissions. So this
Yeah.
is a dangerous fight, man. Like no matter how this plays out, I'm not betting on this because it is so like
Yeah.
the range of things that could happen is so crazy. But I think you have to favor Tisha Torres just with her speed and experience.
Yeah, I was about to say also the significant strikes. Like,
Mhm.
I I I tend to side with someone that has great takedown defense and can strike at a high rate.
Yep,
So I'm going to go with Tisha Torres in this one.
it's a good shout. I think if
Yeah.
somehow Mackenzie Dern actually becomes like a above average wrestler in that division, she's going to
Mhm.
be unstoppable.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But she's below average as far as shot takedowns and getting people to the area where she wants to play in. But
Hmm.
once she gets there, it's savant level shit. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
see it. I'm always reminded of one of her performances in the LFA actually, which is a feeder organization where
Hmm.
she literally wrapped up this girl's arm in the middle of a rear naked choke attempt behind her back. So like it's levels to the submission game. Like she's a dangerous fight for
Jesus.
anyone. So I'm just excited for this one because no matter what happens, it's gonna be sweaty, baby. You're
Yeah,
not gonna
yeah,
know
yeah,
who's
yeah.
gonna win
Yeah.
until that final bell goes off. But these next three fights, dude, like these next three, honestly, I haven't been this hyped for three fights back to back in a minute.
You've
Like,
been talking about it for a few weeks.
dude, I have to because that's
Yeah.
what happens when you get these off weeks too. Like
Yeah,
you got to
yeah,
look
yeah.
forward.
Yeah.
But man, like I don't care. I'm going to do it again on this show.
Yes.
Gilbert Burns versus Hamzat Chimaev. The closer we get to this fight, like I'm just waiting for that moment. You know that moment where the announcements are over
Yeah.
and the cage door is closed already, and we're waiting for them to say go. Like I feel like
Hmm.
this fight more than even the title fights later on,
Mhm.
right before the fight starts, I'm gonna be losing my shit because I don't know how this is gonna go. Like
Yeah.
it could. This is another one that could go so many different ways.
Yeah.
But I saw this video today that really reaffirmed everything that I've been feeling already. This dude Hamzat is huge, bro. He is so much
Yes.
bigger than Gilbert Burns. There was
Yes.
a video today of them in the hotel. They
I saw
both
that.
had on just towels. And
Yeah.
he's like, he told him too. He's like, you're small, bro. And
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, how you just tell him that? And Gilbert didn't even say much. Like, he was just smiling it off like it wasn't no big deal.
What are you gonna say?
Dude, I just want to say real quick another development that I need to make note of: the fact that Hamzat Chimaev has found himself a Dominican barber. Did you see that fade? Did you see the
Yeah.
fade on
It was
Hamzat,
it
bro?
was it was nice. It was nice. it was it was nice. Yeah,
Dude,
man. Yeah.
I'm so hyped for this fight. I want to hear your thoughts. How do you think this one plays out, and who are you leaning towards?
I don't know how to pronounce his name. Say it
You
again
don't
for
have
me.
to.
Okay.
Hamzat Chimaev.
Chimaev. Um, I'm going with him on this one. Eh, I'm gonna go with him on this one. I think height is gonna play a good part in this, but Burns is also heavier, right? So, um, Chip, say his name again.
Hamzat Chimaev.
Chimaev. Okay, he has a 4 inch reach advantage in this matchup, and when you have that reach advantage and height advantage, I think it's one of those things where you can just go ahead and implement your will, um, especially when you have more significant strikes. I don't know how Burns is going to be able to 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 do it. I wouldn't be surprised if he won, but I'm not putting my money on him if I would put money on it.
Yes, sir. And the odds makers agree with you. I think Hamzat's up to almost a minus 700 favorite at this point,
Oh,
which
really?
is insane when you
Jesus.
consider he's not even in the top 15 even, and he's fighting someone that's ranked number two.
Yeah.
I gotta say, like, I've been thinking about this obviously for a long time. I don't think there's ever been someone in the UFC like him.
Mm-hmm.
And I know
Mm-hmm.
that sounds like
Mm-hmm.
hyperbole, and I'm falling into the hype.
Mm-hmm.
But this is someone that he's that much of a favorite over someone who just had the closest fight with Kamaru Usman, in my opinion. Actually
Yeah, yeah,
dropped
yeah.
Kamaru with the overhand right.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
the fact that he's that much of a favorite, I think it really shows that we're not crazy with what we're seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's been lower level competition, but just dominance on another level, setting records as far as the amount of fights, the amount of punches that he hasn't been hit by. Literally, I don't think he's been touched still in his UFC career.
Mm-hmm.
One significant strike, not one, which is insane. Like
That doesn't even
that
make
the fact
sense.
that exactly the fact that you can control a fight to that level. And I look back at that fight with Gerald Mearshart. He sparked him out with one shot, bro. Like lined them up for it and everything. And
Yeah.
he's been saying all week that he's gonna knock out Gilbert in the first. And I honestly believe it. Like I want to see them grapple because I feel like that's when things get interesting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, and honestly, there's no reason to justify the belief in his striking just because he knocked out someone that isn't a striker. Like there's
Yeah,
no
yeah,
reason to
yeah, yeah,
justify it.
yeah, yeah.
But for some reason, I believe it, and I think there hasn't been someone this hyped since I would argue probably Brock Lesnar,
Really?
which is crazy.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Well, okay, let me ask you this then. Do you think it's possible Burns can get the grapple?
100%. I think
Okay.
his biggest shot is to find himself in a spot where he's on bottom and throw up some submissions because we've seen him win grappling matches against guys that are way bigger than him
For
before.
sure,
So
for
that's
sure,
why
for sure.
I really feel like that's his best sort of scenario in this game. But son, you mentioned earlier that Burns is bigger. I
Yeah.
disagree, man. Hamzat weighs more. Think about it like this: Gilbert Burns has made 155 in his career, and he's fought at
That's true.
155.
That's true. That's true.
Hamzat, you're gonna have to cut that dude's leg off if you want him to try to make 155. And Hamzat
Yeah.
has fought at 185. So I just feel like I think it's harder for him to make this weight class than people realize. I don't think he's gonna stay here for long.
Hmm.
But I honestly like I believe it. Like I really feel like he takes this, he beats Kamaru, and then he beats Adesanya. Like I think it's that level,
You think he beats Burns, he shoots up the ranks like that.
dude, and cleans out both those. I really think so. And I think
Jesus.
he might be the one male fighter to actually have a shot at defending two titles. Like they don't let people do that
Yeah,
because they're
yeah,
like
yeah.
you're gonna
Yeah.
hold up the division. I
Yeah.
think with his activity, he's shown that he's willing. You hear him going crazy after these fights. I kill everyone.
Yeah, yeah.
He was asking for it. He was like
Yeah.
in a lot of the interviews leading up to this one. He's like I hope they give me Usman afterburns like on the same night. I'm like this dude
The
is
same
different, bro.
night?
It's different. That's what he was saying.
Jesus.
He's like on the same night. And he's the only one that says shit like that I believe it. Like it's
Yeah, yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Wow.
And yo, the fact that real quick, something that really blew my mind this week, looking at back at this too. Brian Stan, who used to be a commentator for the UFC
Mhm.
years ago at this point,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
there was an interview with him in 2015
Mhm.
where he was talking about some guy out in Sweden that hasn't even made his amateur debut yet, that everyone says gives the top level fighters in that gym a problem. And he was talking about Hamzat, and that was in 2015. So crazy,
Jesus.
crazy the hype that's coming with this man, and I'm all in. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, baby.
Okay. That is hype. I didn't know all that.
Dude,
That's okay. I see why you say that.
it's nuts. It is nuts. But this next matchup, in my opinion, is the closest matchup out of the big three.
Yeah.
Aljamain Sterling coming up
Yeah.
against Peter Yan. Dude, I think if Aljo wins this, you officially won the hunting belts um,
Forgot about
challenge that we did. You officially won it. Have you seen the pictures of Aljamain this week?
he he looks ready.
Scary,
He
scary ready. I've never seen him
yeah.
look like that.
Yeah. He looks intense. He looks intense. I'm ready for it, man. I think he can't win this match. I think he can win it. I wouldn't be surprised if he did. I think I don't know, bro.
I was about to say you gotta pick the Jamaican from Long Island, right? Like
I
you have
have to
to.
like I can't go against him. So I like it yeah. I need to see that Jamaican flag like waving in victory uh on Saturday. But I would not be surprised if he lost. I'll put it like that. I know that sounds like I'm hedging right there, but
I think what makes this fight interesting is again the same scenario with the Hamza fight. I think it's
mhm.
those first two rounds.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah, yeah,
if Aljamain has a shot, it's in those first two rounds, and that
yeah.
includes touching up Jan, whether it be on the feet or on the ground, landing some big shots. I think he could do
Mm-hmm.
that,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
especially with the way he's been looking. He's been looking huge,
Yeah,
but just the kind of cerebral fighter that Jan is, the way he I don't think he carries guys. Like I don't think he
yeah,
loses rounds on purpose. I
yeah.
think he just really feels you out and learns what you're trying to do. And then once he has everything downloaded, it's just like a computer. And that
Similar
third
to
round,
Mayweather.
very true. Yep, a boxing approach.
Yeah, yeah.
And a lot of people say it that he's the one guy that you would point to that could probably fight in boxing and have some
Mm-hmm.
success.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I don't disagree. The craziest part about it, in my opinion, is his grappling. Like
Yeah,
we saw him out grappling Aljamain later on in that fight and
yeah,
taking him down and making him look silly, to be honest,
yeah,
with the
yeah.
clinch takedowns.
Which is why I would not be shocked if he actually lost this matchup.
For sure. I'm picking Peter Yan. I think it's hard to pick against him. But
It
if
is.
you betting, I think it's a way better spot to throw some money on a quick submission or something for Aljamain than it is to try to bet on Peter Yan.
Mm. I think I'm gonna. I think I might actually go ahead and go with Sterling on this one.
I like it. I already wrote
Not,
it in. I thought
not.
it was confirmed.
Oh no, no, not. It's got nothing to do with the Jamaican bias. But that dude looks big. I mean, he looks
Dude,
really, really big.
I'm
Um,
worried about his weight cut for real.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you know how much he came in today?
The official weigh-ins is tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yeah,
I
yeah,
haven't gotten word on that yet. Usually they do check-ins though, but he just looks freaking huge. I have no clue.
Yeah, he does. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what happens because I know whatever happens once he's finished the weigh-in, he's gonna put that back on.
For sure.
He's gonna put it back on. So I think I'm just assuming he's gonna come in at this size.
Yep.
So yeah, I think it's very possible. I mean,
Who looks like a bodybuilder? Like
he
it's
does.
crazy how
Yeah,
big he
yeah,
looks.
yeah. I'm intrigued.
Yeah,
Put me down for Sterling. Put me down for Sterling. I'm gonna go with my boy.
for sure.
But
This is
I
the,
wouldn't
in
have to
my
try to give
opinion,
up.
this is the closest one out of
Yeah,
all
yeah,
the three
yeah,
fights. This is the closest one.
yeah,
So I'm hyped for it, even though the odds don't agree with me. But a big X factor in this one,
yeah.
Petr Yan doesn't have his coaches. Did you hear about this?
No.
His coaches were not cleared. They didn't get their visas. So you know who's going to be in his corner?
Who?
You ready for this? Henry Cejudo and Sean O'Malley.
Wait, what?
That's what I said. He literally put out a tweet and was like, "Who wants to corner me? Because my corner isn't going to be here." He's like, "I don't need you to tell me stupid advice. Just give me water." That's literally what he said.
Are you serious?
Swear to God. And the two guys that stepped up are Henry Cejudo and Sean O'Malley, which is funny because they talk so much shit to each other like
They
they were going
do.
to fight. Both
Yeah,
of
yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah. That's interesting.
That's a big X factor in
That
this one.
is an X
I
factor.
kind of am rooting for a trilogy. Like I feel like
Yeah, 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 yeah. Now
we
that'd be
kind of need it. Yeah.
yeah. I wouldn't be mad at that.
But Sterling got to do his part in order for us to get that.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
feels like the perfect storm for him, though. That's
It
why I'm
does.
like, I'm a little hesitant to go with Jan, but the skills pay the bills, baby. And
So
I'm just
do you
go ahead.
think even if so let's say he tells Sahuda and O'Malley to not say anything to him, just give him water, right? If they so happen to actually coach during the fight, do you think he takes their advice?
I don't think he'll understand them. I know he's probably going to have his
Okay.
manager there as
Okay.
well
Okay.
because his manager speaks both English and Russian. So he'll be
Yeah.
able to sort of translate a little bit for both of them.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that'll be the situation more than anything. Funny meme that I saw, and that Henry Cejudo posted this himself. It was a photo of him in the corner, and then he was like he was gonna throw the towel, like during the fight. So that'll be like next level crazy shit
Oh
if something
man.
like that happens.
Yo, do
But
you
I
think they
doubt
could
it.
do you think they could
Sell
sabotage
it.
him?
Yeah, bro. Imagine
That would be hilarious.
they'll
I mean,
lose
that
their
would
license to
suck.
corner though.
They
Like they
would.
won't be
They
able to
would.
corner after that.
Yeah.
That'll be
Yeah.
crazy
It
though.
wouldn't be worth it. But that would be the petty in me would be. I would
Rooting
love.
for it.
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love to see that.
It's so crazy that that's happening and that he still wants to fight without his coaches. Like I feel
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
anyone else in that scenario is like hell no. Or they actually try to get people that are coaches. Like Henry
Yeah.
Cejudo's a
Yeah.
coach. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but he's not a head coach.
No.
Even in his role, he's not a head
Yeah.
coach.
Yeah.
And that's what he signed up to do here. So that's hilarious. And Sean O'Malley, I've never seen Sean O'Malley in anyone's corner.
I
Um,
haven't either.
so crazy times here.
Wow. I did
Yeah,
not
but
know that, man.
makes your Aljamain Sterling pick even better, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the main event, Alexander Volkanovski coming up against the Korean Zombie. I just gotta say it. The fact that there's a dude named the Korean Zombie,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
respect,
Yeah. Yeah.
all respect,
You
all
gotta
respect,
love
because
it.
that's what he is. He earned that
Yeah.
damn name. Same time, I don't think he deserved this fight. I think there was a lot of people that you could have gave this spot to instead of him.
Hmm.
I hope that he makes it a great fight. Like I hope at some point he's able to hurt Volkanovski because I feel like we've seen Volkanovski a little vulnerable
Hmm.
and sort of susceptible to damage on the feet specifically.
Hmm.
Not later on in fights, but early in fights. So I think
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
something to watch out for. But pound for pound wise, like after this, especially if he comes away with a big win, like you got to put Volkanovski up there with the best pound for pound guys ever. And in my opinion, he's really inching towards Jose Aldo's legacy as far as what he's been able to do as a champion.
Yeah.
Because yeah, he beat Aldo when it came to the one-on-one matchup, so a lot of people already consider him better, but I don't just because Aldo was a historic level champion for many, many, many years.
Mm-hmm.
But he's reaching that level. Like he's racking up the defenses and looking dominant doing it. And I don't like, if anyone was going to beat him, in my opinion, that isn't Max Holloway, because I feel like him and Max Holloway will always be in close fights like this.
Yeah, yeah.
It was Brian Ortega, and we saw him in those spots
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
twice, deep, as deep as it can get, as he
Mm-hmm.
said.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he somehow fought his way out of it. So I just trust that guy on another level in a way that I don't trust anybody else. But if Korean Zombie was to become the champ, man,
It'd be
I'll
crazy.
be hype. Just saying, back to back fights where Henry Cejudo is going to be in the corner. He's with
Oh
Chan
yeah.
Sung Jung as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah.
he moved to Arizona to work at Fight Ready. So that's another guy. I just want to say, I think it's really underrated, the things he's been able to do as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm really excited to see what sort of adjustments. Because hey, we saw it with Zhang Wei Li. She was able
Yeah.
to come back in
Yeah.
that matchup and look
Yeah.
much better. But you got to pick Volkanovski in this one for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. It'd be interesting if the zombie won, but I'm not putting my money on him.
For sure. Me neither.
Yeah.
I mean, if he won, they're immediately giving Holloway the shot, right? Like they're not even gonna give him
Yeah, yeah,
they're not
yeah,
even gonna
yeah.
give him a rematch. They're gonna give Holloway the shot for sure.
Yeah, for
But I'm
sure.
excited for that. I just feel like that those three, there could be no other fights on this card. And
Yeah.
those three, I will pay for that shit. Like those,
Oh
just
yeah,
those
yeah,
three
yeah.
alone.
Yeah.
So it's a top heavy card for sure. But there's some bangers on the prelim too. Don't sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited, bro. 273 is gonna be great.
Yeah,
And
man.
it's in the armpit of the United States, Jacksonville, Florida. So it's gonna be some fuckery no matter what.
Yeah. Oh yeah, something happened for sure. Something happened for sure. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I didn't get to watch the last card, the last pay-per-view. Um or at least catch all of it. So I'm definitely I'm excited to see this one too. This is gonna be good.
Yes, sir. I'm trying to look if there's anything that stands out, and not really. So we'll just move on. I was gonna say, is there anything you want to touch on NFL wise before we get out of here?
Nah, I don't think anything really happened. We're
I
still in the
got one
holding
for you.
pattern.
Brandon Cooks. Brandon
Brandon
Cooks
Cooks.
re-signed with the Texans, which was surprising. I thought they were gonna look to move
Yeah. It's surprising because what the hell do they have there?
him. General Mills, baby.
Like I don't know I don't know what you're gonna actually what your plan is. Get the money though. I mean, I thought he had the opportunity to go to any contender. To be completely honest, to actually get that kind of money too.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
why it shocked me too.
yeah, I didn't see accepting extension. Like I didn't see that coming. So
Rapid fire. Where does OBG? I said OBG. OBJ end up
uh
come the start of the season?
real fast, I think it's very possible he could go to Green Bay, but I think it's very possible he could stay in LA.
They spend all that
I
money,
don't know
bro. I
where the
don't
money
know
is
where they
coming
gonna get
from.
that money.
Well, I'm still shocked that they've been able to sign all these guys this offseason. Like this doesn't even make sense. It literally seems like they just turned the cap off.
On career mode, they turned the cap off.
They just turn it off. We'll keep going. Like it doesn't make sense to me, but I that wouldn't shock me. They'll find somehow some way to get that money.
It's crazy. They're
So,
gonna be paying like 300 million in tax,
well,
bro,
that
and they're
tax
gonna
gonna
be
be
fine with it.
heavy. Yeah, yeah. You better be okay with it. If you can go back to back or at least contend, they're gonna be one of the contenders for sure. They're to me, they're already in NFC Championship. I don't even question that.
Yeah, I like that.
So,
I like that.
yeah.
I'm gonna say he doesn't stay in LA. I think he goes somewhere else.
Where do you see it?
If I had to give a shot in the dark here, you ready for this? There's two teams. You
Okay.
said one of them already, Green
Okay.
Bay. There's another team that doesn't make sense when it comes to the field, but it makes sense when it comes to the money. The Colts. I think the Colts could really make a run for him and pay him what he wants to get paid. And I think that's what matters in this equation more than the fit. So
Okay, so
watch out for that.
let's say that happens, right? He's not gonna be back like the first quarter of the year, right? Like he won't be coming back till like close to midway point. Um, I think that would make sense. I think the Colts would make sense.
They'll be able to stave off with the run game they got.
Yeah.
Matty Ice should add a little bit more than Carson.
Oh,
I like it.
that's by default. I'm not
I
mad at
like
that.
it.
Honestly, I'm not mad at that. Julio, do you think Julio goes there?
Hell no. Hell no. I
You
don't
think
think
he
he's obviously
retires?
he's going somewhere else.
Okay.
I hope he goes to the Ravens, to be honest, but we'll
Okay.
see.
Okay. Hey, you
I
take
was
your
gonna
L.
say OBJ to the
I
Ravens, but I know you're not gonna let me do this on that
oh
show.
no, no, that's your call, bro. That's your prediction.
It's like because I know it's not gonna happen.
don't think it's gonna
Facts.
happen, but I think I wouldn't be surprised. I honestly think that they're gonna go after one of those guys, OBJ, Antonio Brown, Julio, one of those guys. I know Jalen Hurts was pushing for AJ Brown. I don't
That's
know
crazy. Yeah.
how the hell that's gonna happen, but I would love to
It'll
see
have to
that.
be. Y'all gonna have to lose a lot in that trade
Look,
for that to
I,
work.
I'm gonna tell you what I wouldn't mind trading Sanders for Brown.
Hell no. The Titans. Why would they do that? They got Henry,
I don't
bro.
know. I don't care. I don't care. I don't. It doesn't make sense. I don't care. I'm
I
letting you know right
respect it.
now. I
I
do not
respect
care.
it.
I'll give you an offensive lineman and Sanders. You have Sanders as a backup for Henry as an insurance policy, or you do the two man run
I was
system.
gonna say if that tells me anything, that means you really like Gainwell. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it
I
at
do like Gainwell. I do.
that.
Kenny G, love him, smooth.
Yes,
I
sir.
love him.
Yes,
I love
sir.
him. But I want a big back. So
One more rapid fire. Tyron Matthew. Where does he end up? Ooh, we got real quiet in this bitch.
hmm, I don't know. I mean, I know he's got the ties to New Orleans, right? So um, I think it's possible. I don't think it makes sense.
Why not?
They're not. The Saints aren't winning anything.
For sure.
Like I think for him, you want to go sign with a contender at minimum. The Saints aren't contenders this year.
Yeah.
So I like if you go to the NFC South, just go ahead and sign with Tampa Bay, huh?
Damn. I didn't even think of that. That'll be crazy. Ah,
Why not?
ah. Don't make me think about that.
I mean, if you're gonna go to that division,
For sure.
if you're gonna do that,
I think the favorite has to be the Saints. But I'll do it again. I'll do it again. Different side of the ball. I'll do it again. Colts have cap space, baby.
they
It
do,
makes
they do,
sense.
they
It
do,
makes
they do,
sense.
they do.
If I had to give another shot in the dark here, um, who would it be? I don't even know. Who would it be?
The Cowboys, maybe.
Ooh, that's interesting.
You got
I
a
don't
lot of
like it.
pieces. I don't like it either.
That's interesting.
I don't like it either. I mean, honestly, anybody signing with the Cowboys willingly right now, like,
Yeah, clowns for real.
yeah, it would literally just be a money move.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally all that would be for them because you're not doing anything. So I, the Colts again make sense.
Yeah, man.
The Colts make sense. I
They
don't
got to
think.
sign somebody with that cat room. It's just
Yeah, I was say I honestly don't even think they have much to. It's not like we're talking about the Colts being a one of the worst teams in the league, right? That you're switching out Carson Wentz for Matt Ryan, pretty much keeping everybody you already had. They had a great team last year that just they could not pull it together at the end of a lot of games. And I think Matt Ryan can be the difference maker there for sure. If you had Matt Ryan there last year, they're making the playoffs.
yep. That's a good shout for
So
sure. There's no way they lose that game that
no,
they lost at the end of
no,
the
no,
season.
no, not at all. So
Real
yeah.
quick, I need to mention this because it's important. Former Cardinals head coach Steve Wilkes and
Oh
defensive
yes,
coordinator Ray Horton have
yes.
both been brought on to join Brian Flores' suit. I think that's very important. Two credible names, two people that you have a reason to listen to. I think no matter what, Brian Flores deserves that respect to get that
Mm-hmm.
benefit of the doubt. But the fact that I just feel like everyone was sort of trying to make it seem like he has a reason to be bullshitting, and I don't understand where that comes from. Like
Yeah.
everything is where it is, and we've talked about what that probably is really about, more than the actual logistics of it all. But the fact that he has other big name coaches willing to vouch for him on this one, I think is really big for that suit
Oh yeah, yeah. And to be completely honest, I think it also helps that he got a job.
elsewhere. Yeah.
I think it helps that he was able to get with the Steelers, because I think if let's say this offseason I mean in this coming season he wasn't coaching, I think not that his lawsuit isn't valid. I think it is valid, but him being able to get back with another team, I think it somewhat kind of like validates a little bit and allows other guys to be like, okay, I feel a little better going into to being a part of this lawsuit. So we'll see. We'll see. I hope he wins. He should win. He should
I
win. But
hope so too.
I'm so skeptical. I'm really skeptical on whether he will win it.
Shoot, I hope so. I hope so. But next up, before we leave here, there's two things I need to say.
Yes, sir.
Josh Allen. What am I talking about? Stephon Diggs re-signing with the Bills. Do you think that contract is as crazy as I do? Because I think it's a little crazy.
It's what, 4 years, 98
Yep. So it's 4 years, 104 total with sort of
incentives.
incentives, but it's 70 mil guaranteed.
I actually don't think that's crazy. You think about any other team. Think about any other team. If you were able to get Stephon Diggs, if you were able to get Stephon Diggs to the Baltimore, would you not pay that?
We can't. But I feel like
Turn cap
getting
space.
him.
Turn the
Yeah,
cap off. Turn the cap off.
got you. Got you. We in LA, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, 100%, 100%.
Yeah, I don't think it's as insane as it might feel. I
Mhm.
think that you keep him there. It allows both of them to continue working what they've been working on, building what they've been building. That's a contender. That's they should have actually been in the AFC Championship last year, right? Like
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
should
I
they
don't
not?
know.
Should they not?
Hell no. Hell no.
Should they not? Really?
The format changed, but
I
I
know.
mean,
I
everyone's like,
know.
it's too late though. It's too
But I'm
late.
saying, like, projection wise, like you're looking at the team last year, you're like, that's a team that can make the AFC Championship. That's a team that
Oh,
can make the Super
100%.
Bowl,
That
right?
should have,
That should
but
have.
at the same time, matchup wise, I just really feel like there is a little bit of a big brother situation there in that sort of Kansas City Bills matchup.
I think that, and this might be a little, this might be living in the moment a little bit. I I don't think that that's gonna be an issue this year.
Definitely living in the moment. But I
I
get why you say that.
I don't think it's gonna I don't think it's gonna be an issue for them. I think you're able to build on that. Of course, it's not where you want your season to end, but it did, and you went out and got Von Miller.
Yep. You went out and got better
I don't see how it gets any worse for them.
for sure. But at the same time, a bunch of killers, bro.
The AFC
There's
is
a bunch of
stacked,
killers,
bro.
bro.
Like, yeah, the AFC is stacked, but when you're projecting the AFC Championship for this coming season, it's not a far fetched idea to think that's a team that's going to be able to make it. I'll
Two
put it
more
like
quick
that.
hits. Two more quick hits. Do you know who Tyron Matthew visited today?
I only knew about the Saints. I don't know about today.
The Eagles.
I think he should sign. I think he should sign for sure. I didn't know I didn't see they've been saying that for the last 2 weeks that he was going to be there. So if I read it today, that didn't even,
So yeah,
yeah, I was like, whatever. Everybody's just
it
saying that.
happened. 4 o'clock. It happened.
I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense. You go get him and you see what else happens. I would make
That'll
another
be
trade. Go get
that'll be
another wide
exciting.
receiver. But they made a trade with the Saints. See, there a lot of stuff did happen this week. I just completely forgot. They made a trade with the Saints with picks.
Please tell me what you think about that.
I'm okay with it. I didn't think we needed all three picks in the first round this year. You trade well, they traded was it 16, I think?
It was the highest. I think you traded
16.
your highest pick. Yeah.
Yeah, 15 or 16. And they went down to 18, right? So you still get two picks in the first round. I think those picks are actually gonna be more so geared toward defense, but I wouldn't be surprised if they drafted a wide receiver.
Hmm.
Um, I also wouldn't even be surprised if they drafted a center, whether it's the
That's a
first
good
round or
shout.
second round. I would not be shocked.
Kelsey's on his way out.
Yeah, but I mean, we also have a replacement, but you don't know. You don't know if he's going to shape up to be anything close to Kelsey. So, um, if they decide to do it, I wouldn't be mad. Or even if he decided to go on another section of the offensive line, I'm not mad at it. Um, but to be completely honest, you don't need those picks to come in right now,
Yep.
right? You bet on Jalen Hurts. If he does not shake out to be, and I think he will, but if he does not shape up to be what everyone is hoping he's going to be, because he actually he progresses every year, right? Since college, we've seen every year he's gotten better. If he doesn't get to that point where you're able to be comfortable and say, I think the front office has put faith in him. But if they don't, then you go get a replacement next year. Who cares? Like I'm not upset about it. I think it's a good move. I think it's a great move, and I'm not mad at it. So build around Jalen Hurts, get Jalen Rager the hell out of there. Let's see what happens.
I respect it. I
You know,
respect it. I just gotta say, I always hate whenever teams move back in the draft. I don't care that you got more picks down the road. I just feel like a first round pick means so much more than a fifth round pick. Like,
yeah.
so that was my issue with that trade. But
I
hey,
feel it.
if you're on board, I respect it. If you're on board,
I'm
I
not
respect it.
mad. Yeah, I'm
Last
not
two
mad at
rapid
it.
fires, and then you could close us out of here.
Yes, sir.
Where does Baker Mayfield end up after the draft? Go.
Ooh, Houston would be in is wide open.
Hmm.
New Orleans is wide open. Um, I don't know. I don't think he's that great of a quarterback. I think he's one of those guys who you look at as like a bridge.
Hmm.
I think he's that. I don't
It's
think
crazy. He was
he's
taking numero uno, baby.
that's Cleveland for you. I think I think there's spots out there for him, but I'm not. He's is this is not his last year on the contract, is it?
No,
So what are you trading for him? Is the bigger question.
for sure.
And if you're trading for him, like who is actually
Why?
willing? Yeah, why would you do something like that? Like
Why not? Why not use that pick to get a quarterback? Yeah.
to actually get a quarterback, yeah, that you can develop. It's not gonna be a problem. I'm not upset at the idea of someone getting him, but he's not the guy. I almost feel like the Giants might make that move. Actually,
I never thought about that. That's a good shout.
I wouldn't be surprised by that.
I just keep going back to Seattle. I feel like New Orleans are happy with Jameis, so that sort of X's that out.
Well, unless you make Jameis your backup, that's the only reason why I'm saying that. Because yeah,
Do
I
you
think
want to though? LASIK Jameis, baby. Act like you forgot.
no, I haven't, but I don't know that there's. He's not the long term.
Hmm.
He's not the long term answer there.
For sure.
I mean, neither Baker wouldn't either. Like, not at all. But unless you decide to make Baker your backup and Jameis your starter, just have the competition and see what happens in training camp. I mean, it wouldn't hurt. But Seattle is a good spot too. Seattle's a good spot. But I'm still at the point where I'm thinking Kaepernick is going there. Until I don't see it, I'm not going to lose out on hope believing that. I think it's very possible he can be there.
For sure.
Yeah.
Last one. DK Metcalf. Where does he end up? Go.
You're gonna think I'm such a homer, and I hate sound like this.
You got
Right?
those picks for a reason, baby.
What other reason? I think
Good
they get.
shout.
That's what I'm saying. I think they're getting those picks to make a move. I don't know that all these picks are to draft a player. I think they're gonna make a
It's a
move.
good show.
I think they're gonna make a move. They're gonna make a move for either DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, or AJ Brown.
You love to hear it.
That's
Shit.
that's that's what I'm thinking.
I don't know. I
The
don't know.
picks
I
make
think he I
sense.
think he ends up with the Jets or some dumb shit. But they already said that there's
That
no
that would be
legs to
his
that
luck.
rumor.
That would be his luck right there.
100%. They're
I
gonna
don't
be
hate that
calling
for
them
him.
OnlyFans girls again. We're gonna have some problems here. Take us home, brother. Take us home.
All right, man. Well, uh, I don't know what to say after that. I don't even know how to go into the soliloquy, man.
Whatever you do it quickly. You know what I mean? Do it quickly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, you could follow me at Derrick underscore OTS. That's DERRICK, the black way to spell it. But I prefer that you pick the brand over me. So follow at OTS Media Co. all social media platforms. At OTS. I'm sorry, YouTube.com/OTS Media. Um, please check out the website otsmediaco.com. We actually I need to post 2 articles up there and I keep forgetting about. But check out the articles that we have on the website. Check out the other shows that we have. We have a lot of stuff coming out. Live Sabach just came back with a brand new intro. Shout out to Dwayne for that theme song. That is hot. Um, we have a lot of brand new looks coming up for you guys with different shows, YouTube thumbnails that are going up this week, all that stuff. So check it all out. Rate, review, let us know what you guys think of the shows, what you think of the new looks and new themes, all that stuff. But please rate, review, and let us know what you guys think of the Sideline guys. I think we are putting on a lot of work on this show. We have a lot of stuff coming toward you guys in the next couple of weeks, with the playoffs coming up, and you never know who you might see on the show. I'll just say that you never know. So please keep watching. We love the support. We thank you guys for watching and or listening.
Hey, if you give us a good rating, it can't be a shit rating. You give
Yeah,
us a good
yeah,
rating and
yeah,
you send
yeah,
me a screenshot.
yeah.
I got $5 on Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, whatever you need it. Just tell me where you want it and you'll have it. So
And you
that's a
cannot
good
take
shout.
anything down.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That should better stay, baby.
Yeah.
But thank you for that. As always, you can catch me at Chris Negron underscore on Instagram, as well as Negron MMA on Twitter. Uh, Derek gave me some ideas. I might just make it uniform all across the board. Might as well at this point, right? So keep an eye out for that stuff coming out this week.
Yes,
So
sir.
keep your eye out for that as well. And of course, just fight coverage, baby. It's that time, that magical time of the week again. So I'm super excited. Can't wait. Really looking forward to this card, as I've said for the last 2 weeks. So I'll shut up about it already. You know where to find me. But like he said, make sure you follow the brand. And like that, we out, baby.
Yes, sir. We'll catch y'all next week.
Yes, sir. Peace.